It's a real honor to be here with you tonight, and it's an honor to follow Becky. I want to continue this theme of what I cast as the journey inward and the journey outward, the journey into the academy to investigate, and the journey outward to look at the world and think about and engage with its needs. I want to tell you a tale and take you into this question of one particular journey outward and look at a need that is really out there, a need for safe drinking water. There's a backlog of, depends on who you get the numbers from, at least 25% of the world's population doesn't have access to safe drinking water, and it may be as high as 50%. There's also new demand all the time because the population is increasing, and there's approximately 70 million new urban inhabitants every year. There's existing infrastructure that's failing, so there's a need for upgrades and retrofits of the infrastructure that we depend on to provide safe drinking water. And I don't know, I threw out a random number. It's a large number. Maybe I'm off by a factor of 10. It doesn't really matter. It's a huge number, $100 billion globally to meet this need, at least. And in addition to thinking about the fact that it's a lot of money, more important is to think about the fact that this is real people, billions of people who on a daily basis don't have access to the water that is safe that we take for granted here. Last year, the World Health Organization announced that the world had met the Millennium Development Goal of meeting the goal of cutting in half the proportion of people without sustainable access to safe drinking water. There was a little, shall we say, sleight of hand in how they presented that, because it wasn't actually safe water. What was actually delivered to most of those people was improved water. And let's look at some. So improved water is water that comes out of a tap in your house, even if that tap is a straight pipe to a river. What you really wanted was safe water, not just improved water. So a couple vignettes. So here's a girl in India. She's pumping water out of a well, and the water that she's getting out of that well is safe water. It's also improved. It's improved because it's close to her house. It's safe. It is safe. It's not convenient. You can even think about the difficulty of washing your hands in that environment. And if you just notice what happened, she dipped her hands in the water to splash a little bit out, and now I would say that water is no longer safe. It's still improved, but it's no longer safe because her hands may have contaminated it. Go to someplace else. This is now Honduras, Central America. These are called pilas. They're storage tanks in the home, and if you look closely, not even so closely, you can see that that's filled with dirty river water. So it's improved because it came out of a pipe and it's in their home. It's not safe. It is convenient, although what you do with it is maybe a bit of a question. Here's a Honduran girl getting a bath, and if you look at her mouth and at her lips, she's getting some water as she's getting that bath. And if you step back, you realize she's getting a bath with river water. And there's another potential contamination route. Okay, so what do people really want? People really want safe water on tap. That's what you and I have. We benefit from that every day. We'd like enough water to drink, to cook, and to wash. We need about 100 liters per person per day to meet that need. We'd like it to be safe and convenient and reliable. So, AguaClara at Cornell is an engineering team based at Cornell University. We develop sustainable water treatment technologies that are gravity-powered, electricity-free, low-cost, high-performing, and designed for communities between about 500 and perhaps up to 100,000 inhabitants. I'd like to introduce two of the people that are working on that team with me. First, Tori Klug. Stand up, Tori. Tori is a team leader for the whole team. She's a senior in civil and environmental engineering. And next to her, Amanda Rodriguez, who has been on the team for several years. She's a senior in biological and environmental engineering. If you return to the Chicago Trading Center after the Chicago Stock Exchange, afterwards you can meet Tori and Amanda, and they can explain how our technologies actually work. Okay, journey inward, journey outward. We combine our search for knowledge with our search for meaning. We are working at integrating a fundamental understanding of how the universe works, like the laws of physics, with the challenge of making the world a better place. So looking in and looking out. We research and we invent, and we design and we empower. So again, that looking in and looking out. Or looking at it another way, there's this circle of knowledge where we're in our research labs doing what we do best, doing research. We're developing new theories. We take those theories to the design studio to develop better designs that then end up being built as sustainable infrastructure with the final result that people have safe drinking water on tap. I want to take you to 3 journeys outward, engaging in a global problem while on the Cornell campus. So we have 50 plus students working on the team every semester. In the summer, we have 30 students as interns. We have 15 or more project teams, each team dedicated for a particular challenge. We have this sense of community where we have first-year students to PhD students working side by side, so peer-based learning. And these teams are tackling real problems, challenges that are moving us further on the path towards providing safe drinking water. Here's an example. So in the lab, we do research, and we're looking at how should we design the best sedimentation tanks. And the one with the flat bottom is a failure, and that's how we had been building the plants that we've been designing. And on the one with the jet reverser, that's what we wanted to have happen, where there's this flock blanket that develops in the sed tank. Came out of research. Okay, so students are doing research in the lab, and they know that the knowledge that they're generating is new knowledge. They know that it's not going to go into the trash can for homework at the end of the semester. They know that what they invent is going to be shared with others. And they know that they're working to make the world a better place. They know that they're developing the technologies that make it possible to provide sustainable water treatment using or having a low carbon footprint. And they're doing this while they're at Cornell. Out of those laboratories comes all these new ideas about how to make better water treatment plants. That goes to the design team. And the design team codes that and creates an automated design tool. And from that design tool, you can go to our website and you can request a 3D design drawing of a very detailed municipal water treatment plant. I challenge anyone else to pull that one off. If you request a design that we haven't yet created, we'll create it for you, or rather, the design tool will create it for you. It'll take about 10 minutes of computational time, and then it'll generate a web page for you, and you can go get it. The design tool is created and continually upgraded by the design team. Cornell undergraduates and Master of Engineering students working together, spending about 20,000 hours doing this. Okay, let's go to Honduras. Since 2005, 8 water treatment plants in 7 communities serving 30,000 people. Since June of this year, we've been building, or our partner has been building a plant in San Nicolas, Honduras. And this town is 6,500 people. It has a water supply that is very badly contaminated. And the local legend is that the reason that the water is always so dirty is because there's a snake that's always churning the water. And so the water is always dirty. So we designed a water treatment plant that is great for removing turbidity generated by snakes. And I want to make it very clear. Here's this plant that is coming into being. This photo is just about a week old. And what you see in concrete and brick and mortar and rebar is a design that is created based on or by Master of Engineering students and undergraduates at Cornell. The structural design is then added in country, but the overall shape of the facility to do the water treatment is designed by the Cornellians. Another journey outward, the annual trip to Honduras. So I take 20 to 27 students to Honduras every year. We tour plants. We look at how plant operators interact with these facilities, and we dream about, not only dream, but we figure out how to make them even better so that they're easier for the operator to use. We work alongside the plant operator to conduct maintenance. Here we're working on a maintenance job for our stacked rapid sand filter. We look at how water is converted from dirty water to clean water. We demonstrate new technologies, and we learn what works and what doesn't work. We show off how the water treatment plant system works to villagers, and we go to the homes of community members. And when we're there, it forces us, because this is engineering in context, it forces us to think about how can we design systems that will actually work in this context and that will be sustainable and that meet the needs of these Honduran communities. One more journey outward. We're sharing these technologies globally. We've been thinking about scaling up since the very beginning. So there are different levels of this organization. So at Cornell, we're doing this research, invent, design, empower. And then there's AguaClara LLC that was created by two of my former students to take that technology and transfer it to implementation partners who are building it in country. Those implementation partners work with the local water boards that then own the systems. Those water boards deliver the water to the community members who pay the tariff so that they can continue to have safe drinking water. Those different levels of the organization are really one big community. We're sharing ideas, we're learning from each other, and that's part of our innovation system. Since fall of 2012, AguaClara LLC now has headquarters in Washington, D.C. We're beginning to work on wastewater at Cornell. We're working in India, taking the technologies there. That's being done by AguaClara LLC, and as I described earlier, in Honduras with the town San Nicolas. Engineering in a global context. The best way to learn how to be an engineer is to practice engineering. The best way to foster engaged global citizenship is to practice engaged global citizenship. And the best way to engage creativity is to apply real constraints, such as no electricity, and then seek new solutions. With that, with lots of gratitude for the hundreds of Cornell students who research, invent, design, and empower with me on this team, for my faculty colleagues who advise the project teams, for our partner organizations who take our designs and actually turn them into sustainable infrastructure, and for the opportunity to do this at Cornell University, I am grateful.